Are we doing a skit?
I haven't planned one.
I think you should. It's a Game Club episode.
Hey, Alex, I got a package for you. Zip.
Oh, why is it 20% damaged? What did you do to it?
Oh, it's all wet, but still there.
I don't like this skit. We shouldn't do skits anymore.
No, don't skits.
No.
This episode of the Game Club pod will contain spoilers for Death Stranding.
Well, I hated that.
And that's how skits died on this channel.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did under Tim's watch.
That seems about right.
I was going to say if it was going to be anyone.
Hello and welcome to Game Club Pod. My name's Tim Adwembembo on everything, and I'm joined this week, as always, by our lovely co-host, my brother, Joey Fitz.
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi. And, of course, the lovely Alex.
What's up?
What's up? And, of course, we're going to be talking about...
It's the year 2000 again.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about Death Stranding. When did this game come out? Like, 2019, like 6 years ago. But before we get into today's mainline episode, we, as always, we're going to do a question to get, I was about to say each other's juice flowing then. That's not it.
Well, we've already done that skit, so...
Yeah, moving on from the skit very quickly, let's get some creative juices flowing. Guys, what's the furthest you've walked?
What, just full stop?
Yeah, just...
Like in one...
I'm going to say a weekend.
What question is this?
This game's about walking.
This podcast isn't about walking.
Yeah, but what's the furthest you've walked?
I'm walking here.
I don't know.
When I was younger, we used to go walking up the Lake District with my granddad. So
How far
probably that. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly how many steps did you take, Alex, in this ludicrous world?
14 at the time.
14 steps? That's not very big.
No, that isn't very far. You should probably expand
up
upon
that count by about 10,000.
Mine, Tim, was probably when we used to do Sunrun. So Sunrun, Alex, when we were in the Scouts or Explorers, whichever one it was at a camp where you started in the Malvern Hills and you did, was it 26 miles?
26, 27 miles, 6, 7.
But you started when the sun went down and you had to be back before...
Sorry, Joey.
Tim. Twat, Tim. Fucking bullshit.
It's the word of the year.
I know, I'm so angry.
And I want you to edit out all the swearing, you fucking shithead. Yeah, so Alex, it was about 26 miles. No more than that. Definitely no more.
No more.
And you started when the sun went down and you had to be back by the time the sun came up. And if you were back early enough, you got to go to the party that ended when the sun went up.
I went to the sun run, but never did the sun run bit, so I just did the party bit.
Nice. I've done the sun run twice and then I did the party bit and stewarding another 2 times. I went with a friend, and I'm not going to say any names because he works in the car industry, who told me that he drives better after a few ciders.
Oh my God.
And he drove us to our checkpoint where we were the first checkpoint. So we got to go sit there and go, yep, you're doing great. Keep going. It's that way. Keep going. It's that way, for all the people doing it. And after about 40 minutes, when everyone had passed, they were like, well, you can go back to the party now. And we were like, oh, damn. Because it wasn't a licensed bar, Alex. So what they used to do was another scout group that we were friends with ran the bar, and to buy booze, you had to buy tickets. So you're not exchanging money for alcohol, you're exchanging tickets for alcohol.
And what is money if not just a glorified ticket?
Exactly. But
it's about the value.
But the funny thing with it was, because it was our friends on the bar, I would give them, for example, 10 tickets for 2 beers, which would cost 10 tickets, and they go, here's your 2 beers, and here's your 30 tickets change.
It's like a perpetual beer machine.
What a life.
That was the first weekend I played Edward Cider Hands, if you guys have ever played that.
Well, I know you know it.
Yeah.
Where you duct tape pints to your hands.
Yeah, and you can't do anything but drink, including piss. So I had to dry hump a Portaloo toilet wall.
I think I might have vomited inside of that Portaloo on multiple occasions that night.
Why do you think I targeted my humping?
Well, this is a crash start to podcast.
I was never in the Scouts as a kid, so I never did any of these. Never did the Duke of Edinburgh either, so I've never done these. The closest I've got, I was in the military cadets, so probably did some long walks there. But again, it shows.
When I see you, Alex, I think military.
Yeah, I think all legs all the time.
Yeah, I like that you saluted us then with an incorrect military salute.
Yeah. There's a reason he's not in it anymore. For me, I did do my Duke of Edinburgh award. I did my silver award, but then I decided I wanted to talk to girls. But before that, when
are you going to start doing that?
I haven't built the courage yet. So for me, our practice hike for the Duke of Edinburgh was actually longer than the actual hike by, I think, about 10 miles. Give or take, but we did the 6 summits of Shropshire across the Shropshire Moors in 3 days. But it sounds a lot more impressive to say I hiked across South Wales. So across 3 days, which was very fun to do. But I would never fucking do it again because that's insane.
Did you ever do the night hike, Tim?
I did, yeah. So I lost a shoe in the night hike once.
Another hike that we used to do sunset to sunrise was called the night hike, and the first year I did it I realized I knew the area because it's where our aunt and uncle lived, and it was horrible. Like the whole hike was dreadful, and I told my aunt and uncle, and they said if ever you do it again just let us know. And the second year I let them know, and they gave us booze, they gave us hot drinks. They offered to give us a lift, but that would have been cheating. I didn't finish it that time because I was a little bit drunk. So
reasonable.
There you go.
I actually quite liked the night hike. It was quite a good one to go to.
If you don't mind losing your shoes.
Yeah, I lost it in a mud thing, also known as a big puddle.
There you go.
A mud thing.
Right. That's enough walk talk, which would be a great name for a hiking podcast. We are
no, it's not. It's not enough walk talk because we're doing Death Stranding. So.
Oh, more walk talk. Oh, do you think that's why they call it a walkie-talkie?
No.
Oh. You good there, Alex? You got some breathing problems? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, cool. Well, we're here to talk about 2019's Death Stranding, directed and produced by Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions for PS5, PS4, iOS, macOS, Xbox Series X and S, GeForce Now, Microsoft Windows, and also as a fully playable build on the Steam Deck. It is a...
Sorry, this is on iOS?
According to Google's platform reviews, yes.
Wow.
So... This game, as I say, came out in 2019 and was made by Hideo Kojima. So if you know Hideo Kojima's work, so his previous work on Silent Hill, from Metal Gear Solid, of course, the whole Metal Gear series is kind of his baby. He was recently named in the Pokemon credits of the new game for 3D modeling, which was interesting. But Death Stranding, I think it's fair to say it came in with a big bang. It's the debut game of Kojima Productions after his big blow-up breakup with Konami in 2013 or 14, one of the two. But Death Stranding came in with awards for Best Performance in a Video Game, Best Score in Music, it won the BAFTA Award for Technical Achievement. It won the Game Awards for Best Game Direction. It swept awards, and spoilers from my opinion, rightfully so. But I'm going to go to immediate thoughts with Alex.
I don't know how to review this game because
it's gonna be a great episode.
I'll be the first to admit I am not I'm not in the bubble of Hideo Kojima fans. I'm not a fan of Silent Hill. Never really played Metal Gear Solid, so maybe a lot of it is down to. But I'm aware that he's well known for creating weird, strange games. And he's just a strange man from what I've heard. I struggled with Death Stranding for the first 4 hours.
Okay.
Give or take.
Did you meet so for the audience, we set a 10-hour mark. Did you meet that 10-hour mark?
I did.
Okay.
I got 10 hours. So yeah, for the first 4, I really struggled because it was 20 minutes of cutscenes and then a minute of walking, and then another 20 minutes of cutscenes followed by another 5 minutes of walking. But at some point, and I'm trying to, when you have your first mission where you have to deal with getting a printer from the mule camp.
Yes.
Once I completed that, I was like, right, I get this now. That was the moment it clicked for me, the game. And then I started to enjoy it somewhat. I got my little reverse trike and I got to beep around the wastelands for a bit. It is a walking simulator. There's no two ways about it. It's a walking simulator with a movie every 5 minutes. But they've put things in to make it more than just holding down the left thumbstick, because you've got to adjust your balance. You've got to stop yourself falling over, sliding down hills. You can't just run down a hill because you will fall and destroy everything. So there are gameplay aspects, but I struggle to think of it as a game.
Okay.
In the strictest sense, because it is effectively just walking around a wasteland. But it looks really, really nice, and they really like to show off the facial animation in the private rooms, because everything you do, Norman Reedus just spikes the camera and gives you a wink. But it looks good. It sounds good. It's something that I would have preferred to have watched someone else play. I think I'd have got more into it. Playing it myself, I found it a bit frustrating at parts.
Okay. All right. Joey?
I don't think this is a walking simulator.
No?
I think this is a fetch quest simulator, and I think they're different.
All right.
I think this is a fetch quest simulator with a ludicrous amount of inventory management. I felt like it was slow. I had a really good line for this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Kojima won your hearts by letting you play as a snake. And in Kojima's production's first game, they let you play as a snail.
I like it.
It's a really...
Yeah,
I nicked it from an IGN review, if I'm totally honest with you.
Sure, yeah.
But it was good. Well done, IGN, on that one thing. And none of the rest of it.
None of it.
Death Stranding is such a tough one. I've tried to play through it twice before and given up at about the 5-hour mark. Both times. Because I don't play video games to watch a movie. I play video games to play video games. And I find Kojima's desperate attempt at being a movie director within a 40-hour piece of media can be extremely tedious. It's why I've never finished Metal Gear Solid 5. It's why I didn't really enjoy anything past the PS2 era of Metal Gear Solid. And Death Stranding was one I really wanted to enjoy. And then I hit the 5-hour mark that I gave up on, and I thought, I'm not going to enjoy this at all. And then I hit the 6-hour mark, and I thought, hold on a second. What's this? I'm enjoying this ludicrous nonsense. And it's a really hard game to review, like Alex said, because I don't think it should take a game 6-7 hours to grip you. I really don't. I'm amazed you were gripped by the time you got to the mule camp, Alex. I think that's very early. I think I was on a call with you when I was playing the mule camp because I was trying to find ways to speed up the game in things like over-encumbering myself and then intentionally jumping in the river so that we could go downstream quicker. But otherwise, the only variance in the game is, do you fall over on your left or do you fall over on your right? And to me, that's really, really difficult to enjoy. But then I got beaten up by the enemy, the BTs, which I only found out very recently. BT stands for beach thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't listen as well as I should have done. But I got beaten up by a BT and like you spend the whole time gripping and pulling away from the BTs because they look like little people covered in tar, pulling you back. But if you lose to them and they pull you underground, you get sucked into a boss fight. And that boss fight is fucking gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
With a big scary whale.
Yeah.
It was at that point, I was like, right, I'm in. There is some jeopardy here. I'm not just falling down mountains headfirst as Norman Reedus. And I think that the game's marketing, because I remember seeing when Death Stranding first came out, it was just like Norman Reedus staring at a camera going, what? I'm in a video game. Guess what? I'm in a video game. There's a video game that's got me in. And it's like...
Norman Reedus, is that you?
I really wish they stopped focusing on Norman Reedus, because I get it's going to cost them a fortune to get him in. The Walking Dead was big at the time, so I kind of get it. A much bigger draw for me is having Mads Mikkelsen in the game. As soon as I saw Mads Mikkelsen in those flashbacks, I was like, right, I've got 10 hours this time and I'm going to get to it. So I had to get to Mads Mikkelsen and the World War II? One? I can't remember.
World War One. So
World War One flashbacks.
We'll get to it in the review, I'm sure. And spoilers, you actually visit World War One, II, and the Vietnam War.
I have to really commend you, Tim, on choosing this game. I was going to put Death Stranding on our playlist a while ago, but then I thought, shit, I'll have to explain the story. So I didn't. But I enjoyed Death Stranding. I thought it was really good. And I thought it was pretty and it sounded excellent. I thought there were bits that were like, this is definitely Kojima Productions' first thing. Inventory management is horrible. The pacing is often terrible. And generally, I found quite a few of the characters like chewing the scenery, not in a good way.
Okay.
However, the game just grabs you and it pulls you in and you have to know what's coming next. And did either of you finish the game?
No, this game is like 40 hours in length.
I finished it.
Oh, wow.
I'm none the wiser as to what the ending was, but I understand a little bit more. But yeah, I guess that's my review. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Cool. For me, to kind of echo what Joey said, I don't know what it is about this game that I like. I just know that I love it. So like, this is my second attempt at Death Stranding, and the first time I played it, it was on PS Plus, and I just got a PS5, and I was like, do you know what? I've been meaning to give this a go. I'm going to try it. And I was carrying some packages, and I fell in a river, and I watched them all go downstream. And I thought, nope, not for me. And then I didn't touch it. And then, so a long time has passed since then. And I don't know what it is. I just every now and again get a bit of a Hideo Kojima itch, and I really want to play some weird conspiratorial shit. And this is that. It's yeah. Like the main gameplay loop of the game is pick up a ridiculous amount of packages, store them on however means you can on your body or bike or car or walking by dog or whatever. And then manage to like organize the packages so you're like handling your weight distribution correctly. Walk in a direction and like hang on the left and right triggers for dear life to adjust your balance, because that's the main gameplay loop. But I found myself getting really into it, like planning my routes based on topography. I found myself like trying to account for weather, which weather plays a big component in this game. There's instead of rainfall, there's a big element of the plot called timefall, where anytime it rains, anything the water drops touch ages rapidly. And that's highlighted in a couple of cutscenes. It's highlighted in the opening cutscene where a bit of rain gets on Norman Reedus' hair and it turns grey. when you see a comrade very early in the game get completely showered in rain. He becomes an old man over the course of about 3 seconds. But to that end, if your packages are out in the rain, the seal on them can get damaged, which then leads the cargo box to get damaged. And if that gets too damaged, the contents inside get too damaged. And I found myself really giving a shit about it. Like, really getting into, like, oh my God, I need to make sure this cargo is safe as anything. Until I got to one mission in the second area of this playthrough, and I'm sure Joey will know which one I'm on about. I don't know about you, Alex. I don't know if you reached the second area of the game.
I made it to the port, and that was about as far as I got.
Okay, cool. So you are on the cusp of that then. There is a side mission that I got after delivering some stuff to... They called this guy the Elder, and there was the engineer and the craftsman. And I went back to Port Knot, which is the name of the city that you start in the second area. And there was a mission there that said, deliver a pizza in 30 minutes or less. And I thought, absolutely, I'm delivering a pizza in 30 minutes or less. And I abandoned all objectives to go and deliver this man a pizza. And he wasn't even there. He was just like, sorry, I was asleep, lol. Here's 10 likes on your Facebook. Mm-hmm. We should get into the likes thing, by the way, when we're actually talking about more mechanical stuff. But yeah, I mean, this game's got a fantastic soundtrack. The cast is incredible.
The soundtrack, it needs its own section. It's unbelievable.
It's so good. One thing I've learned about Kojima, playing a lot of his stuff over the years, he has a great taste in music. But to kind of wrap up my thoughts on this, like my initial thoughts on it, I thought it was excellent. I thought it was outstanding. I want Hideo Kojima to direct a movie, and I think he wants to direct a movie based on what I saw here, but I'm happy with what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Great. Shall we talk plot?
Good luck. I'll see you in 25 minutes.
I'm trying to keep it concise. Again, I didn't finish the story, but I did watch a wrap-up of the story online. So I'm going to try and summarize this as best I can. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic America, and it's post-apocalyptic because there's these things called BTs or beach things that are effectively making the world hazardous to exist in, along with the timefall rain, which, as I've said, makes everything age rapidly.
Rage rapidly.
Yeah, rages rapidly. So most cities have taken to living underground. Aside from the few brave people called porters and handlers who are tasked with taking cargo from one city to another city. This is where Sam Porter Bridges comes in, who is played by Norman Reedus. We start out on our motorbike, driving around America, and the timefall happens. The timefall starts pouring down. So he goes and hides in a cave where he meets this woman called Fragile, who is a French woman with an English name and an American accent.
Don't forget her funky umbrella as well.
And a funky teleporting umbrella. She offers you a water bear or a tardigrade to eat, which it later turns out is there to stave off the effects of timefall. And you say no because, this is the first time you're meeting this person. Why would you eat a water bear? So after she leaves and the timefall stops, you carry on to the capital of East Knot City. Or Central Knot City, one of the two. All the cities are called knots for some reason. I never really got why that was.
Because it's a web, you're linking everything like a rope.
Got it. Makes sense. So this is where we meet a few key characters. There is Die Hardman, played by Tommy Earl Jenkins. There is Deadman, whose character model is based on Guillermo del Toro, but he's voiced by Jesse Corti. And they tell you that your next delivery is to deliver some medicine to the president. And they have asked for you specifically. And you go and see the first and last female president of America. And she is there on her deathbed, President Bridget, and it's revealed that Bridget is Sam's mother. And her dying wish is for Sam to reconnect America, all the cities. So after she dies, she somehow names her daughter, Amelie, Sam's sister, to be the next president of the United States. And she says, "Oh, but the problem is, I'm actually not even here. I'm a hologram. I've been kidnapped on the West Coast. And the way you need to fix that is to reconnect America to what's called the chiral network, which is essentially a super internet." So everyone, the best way to put it is, everyone in America is on dial-up until you put them on fiber. And what will happen as you're traveling across America delivering supplies is you will build up essentially a network of connections for the cities, but also a bit of a social media presence for yourself, where people in the cities can give likes based on things you've built or things you've delivered, the condition of that delivery, the tasks you've done, for example. And as you progress, you're making this internet better and better and better, to the point that some NPCs described it as being so fast, it's like sending data to the past because it's just there instantly. And I say data, it's anything from information about the BTs and timefalls and the mules, as these guys alluded to, who are like essentially cargo pirates that just kind of inhabit America. And anything down to like 3D printable schematics that you can just throw out on the ground and they just appear. Anything from bridges to roads to generators, watchtowers, post boxes, you name it, it's there for you to use. But not only for you to use, for other players who are playing Death Stranding to use. To be clear, Death Stranding is not a multiplayer game in a typical sense, but what it does have is a system where you can leave signs and infrastructure down for other players to use. And if people like it, like in Dark Souls, where you can give thumbs up to messages and whatever, it will replenish your stamina and have a greater chance of appearing in someone else's world. And this can be anything from ropes to climb down cliff faces, ladders, bridges, roads, signs warning of particularly tricky terrain or BTs or whatever. But that's by the by. The point is, the whole theme of the game is building a network and reconnecting people.
Are you suggesting that this game is a Souls-like?
Not a Souls-like as such.
I just said Dark Souls, and that's what you immediately said.
Makes sense. So, where was I? As you are tasked... as the president is now dead, President Bridget, the problem with someone dying in this game is that their corpse can do what's called necrotizing, where essentially their body will sink into the floor and they will become a BT. And if a BT kills a person effectively, they what's called a void out happens, which is essentially a giant bomb. So it's in everyone's interest to make sure that body disposal is done correctly, because entire cities have been wiped out by a single person who has been voided out. This leaves Sam with the task of taking his mother to an incinerator. On the way to this incinerator, though, with the corpse disposal team, your party is attacked by some BTs who are being seemingly commanded by a man in a mysterious golden skull mask played by Troy Baker, because of course he's in this game.
Why wouldn't he be? He's in every good game.
He's in every game. Your crew's wiped out. You and a baby that are the only person that was strapped to a member of the crew's chest, which we'll get into in a minute.
This is less than an hour into the game.
Yeah, it's like I'm going into a little bit of detail here. I promise I'm going to start skimming soon. You take this baby to the incinerator along with your dead mother, and you incinerate the mother, and you're on orders to incinerate the baby because the baby is referred to as what's called a BB unit. And I don't remember what BB stands for, but I like to think of it as what's her face from Schitt's Creek, where she says BB.
Moira.
Yeah, Moira, BB.
Baby.
And their whole job, it's worked out by scientists, ? Where essentially if a baby is removed from a mother when the mother has died and they haven't been able to complete the birth, the baby can then pick up BTs. So they are effectively put into an artificial womb, strapped onto the front of porters and corpse disposal units and handlers and the army and whoever to try and pick up when a BT attack is about to happen. The problem was, and the reason this BB unit that you've got was sent to was ordered to be destroyed, was because it failed to pick up the BT unit that attacked the corpse disposal crew. So Sam decides to keep BB, and you now have a crying companion for the rest of your journey. To quickly skim over the next few points, you are then tasked with connecting up things like distribution centers, generators, farms, cities, all sorts of stuff, until you're commanded to go to Port City because you need to head east to get Amelie. When going east, we meet the man in the golden skull mask who calls himself Higgs. And you have a big old fight with what appears to be a giant squid in a golden mask commanded by Higgs. After you defeat this squid, you end up going to... It's not Middle America. Middle America is kind of like a latitude band, isn't it? What would you call the vertical slice of Middle America?
The middle of America.
Central America, sure. That'll do. And when you get there, you meet with... Fragile takes you over there, who we met earlier. And it's revealed that Fragile, a lot of people in America consider her to be a terrorist. Because she used to work with Higgs. And while Higgs and Fragile were in business doing the Fragile Express Delivery Company, West Knot City and South Knot City in Central America were blown to smithereens by a nuke. Not a void out, a nuke specifically. And after you complete some more jobs around the area and like speaking with some of the people who you are handling deliveries for, they tell you that they're not happy to, be working with Fragile. They consider her a terrorist for, these reasons. It's revealed that she was essentially tricked by Higgs to bring a nuke to the south, or to West City rather, West Knot City. But when she found out it was a nuke, she tried to take it out of the city. Higgs caught onto her and gave her two choices. She can either let it blow up, or she can take it out of the city, but with zero protection on herself from the timefall that's actively pouring down. And she decides to do that, so essentially sacrificing her own body to massively age in order to save the entirety of the city. In doing so, she's obviously aged her body, hence the reason she needs to eat these tardigrades, these water pigs, to stave off the effects of timefall. Am I right in thinking that West Knot City did end up getting voided out in the end? Or was that a separate nuke?
I think I can't remember.
One of the two. I haven't completed this part of the game yet, so this is where my memory gets a little hazy. But the long and short of it is, after you make your way to the west side of the city, it's west side of America, which is all mountainous and snowy now, as California famously is.
Oh my God, the mountainous and snowy bit is... You basically lose all of your vehicles and stuff, and it's like going back to square one. It's an abilities in the middle of a game.
Yeah. After a fight with Higgs on the way to the mountains and snow, BB is shot. He shoots the baby, and he is wounded. And Deadman, played by Guillermo del Toro, says, "I can fix him, I promise," and then takes him up the mountain. So you are now traveling around doing deliveries without the use of BB. Then when Guillermo del Toro says, "I've fixed the baby," you then approach him, and in this mountain shack, it gets blown away by another BT, and you have another big fight. You end up meeting with Amelie, because I should have mentioned this at the very beginning. Sam is what's referred to as a repatriate? Is that how you pronounce it?
Repatriate, yeah.
Repatriate, which means he cannot die. When he dies, when everyone dies, they end up going to this place called the beach, where they're eventually just washed away to be a part of a next Stranding, if you like, and that's where the BTs come from. But Sam can find his own body and come back to life. Joey?
Very big correction. BB was not shot.
Oh, I thought he was.
No, that might be the biggest spoiler in the game if I correct you on that. But BB was not shot. The BBs can see... Oh my God, BBs can see BTs.
Yep.
Baby can see beach things because they are partway between not alive and the world of the living. And
because they were taken out of their dead mums.
Well, yeah, but BB was growing too close to the world of the living, so Deadman took it away to kind of reset it. I'll explain why it's a spoiler in later down the line.
Yeah. But on this beach, whenever Sam, Norman Reedus, either dies or goes to sleep, he keeps having these visions of seeing Amelie on the beach and interacting with her, be that when he's growing up or just as he is now. And after a big old fight with Higgs, Sam ends up back at the beach, and it's revealed that Bridget, the president, and Amelie were not only the same person, but after a discussion with a scientist whose name I forget, Hartman, I think it was, it's revealed that Amelie is actually what's referred to as an extinction entity. Now, there's been a few of these throughout world history, for example, the dinosaurs, the Neanderthals, that sort of thing. But the famous 5 people floating in the sky from the Death Stranding marketing, those are the 5 previous extinction entities watching the world continue to turn. And Amelie is basically destined to join them in wiping out life and killing everything, basically. She is saved by a moment of compassion, which I think takes them back to BB's birth. Joey, you're probably a little more familiar with this.
No, this is the spoiler. So
biggest spoiler, Joey, take it.
And this is where you know it's a Kojima game because it gets even more batshit than Tim's just explained. Sam was a BB.
Yep.
Sam got shot as a BB. Deadman said, I can fix him. The way that he fixed him is bringing Sam to the world of the living. But because he was used as a BB, that's why he was a repatriate. He is given to the care of Amelie, who turns out to be the same person as your mum. So Amelie and your mum are the same person. You are this person's BB, and you grow up normal. But the visions that you've been seeing of BB and Mads Mikkelsen's character, who we haven't even spoken about in all of this.
Clifford Unger.
I just love that his name's Clifford.
Yeah.
The visions that you've had of Clifford looking like it's BB's father, he's actually Sam's father.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sam was shot while working as a BB for Clifford.
Yeah. Because Clifford was trying to take Sam as a BB out of the facility where they make BBs because the mom died, and he got shot trying to escape. I don't quite, again, I didn't reach this point in the story, but I absolutely plan on reaching this point in the story because, spoilers, I plan on going back and finishing this game. I don't understand what the connections to World War I, II, and the Vietnam War were.
So, the beach is really important.
Yeah.
When they talk about the beach is essentially limbo between when you die and when your soul passes on, basically. And the beach is a place where you are, and I'm really sorry, it might sound like I'm in World War I because apparently it's fireworks night already.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fireworks going on, but keep them in for dramatic effect, Tim. That'd be fun
it's
to
immersion. It's immersion.
But it's a place that you're familiar with, and Clifford was a war hero, so his beach is war. So when you're going into these flashbacks of basically Sam gets knocked on the head and he gets knocked unconscious and put into Clifford's beach. But they are war zones because he's a war hero and he's basically trained himself to be like war. And that's the explanation.
That's it. But then a single act of compassion, which is a big hug from Sam to Amelie, stops her from destroying the planet, basically.
The explanation is that it's death that has kept the world turning.
Yeah.
And you can kill Amelie here, and that's the bad ending.
Yeah.
But by hugging her and compassionately being human, you stop the next big Death Stranding.
Yeah. That's basically the plot. I think there's a bit more after the credits. I think there's in classic Kojima fashion, there's 2 or 3 credit sequences. But that's the main plot of the game, basically.
Basically, he says 15 minutes after starting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is like,
and I've skimmed.
There's probably 5 or 6 key characters that Tim hasn't even mentioned.
Yeah.
So when he says basically,
I do mean basically.
There is someone in there that is has a BT baby attached to them.
Oh, this is Mama.
Yeah, Mama. She lives on because her baby is still attached to her, despite the baby not being with us anymore or being a BT.
Mm-hmm.
Mama has a bizarre identical twin that absorbs Mama's soul partway through. I still don't quite understand why, but did.
I'll be honest, that's the least of my questions in this world.
There's a man called Hartman who has a connection to Limbo, who I think it's like 60 times a day goes into Limbo trying to find his family.
So I know about this. He was a surgeon, and his city got voided out while he was mid-surgery, and he watched his wife and child go into the waters on his beach. And after 21 minutes, he was resuscitated. So every 21 minutes, his heart stops. So he can go and look for his wife and child on the beach. And since the events of that, he has died over 250,000 times.
This game is bad shit. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's bonkers. And I think not being tied to Metal Gear Solid, which personally for me is what I think of when I think of Kojima, I think they've basically said, well, people like sticking Kojima's name on it. Just do whatever you want.
Yeah. It will make money.
You haven't told us about like Higgs's boss fights, the enormous BT lion that he summons
there's
to fight you.
There's a squid, there's a whale, there's a dolphin.
They're just the whole game from start to finish, in between excruciatingly boring balance simulators.
Oh, I didn't think it was boring.
Just insane. Oh, I think it did. I really think it did.
I think the first, like you said, the first couple of hours where you're just like, is this the game? That was that was a little dull. But then once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iconic moments, guys. Favorite bits from this playthrough?
Alex?
I can't really think of any, to be honest, because I didn't get that far through it.
I mean, you've seen the baby thumbs up.
Yeah.
The baby thumbs up, yeah, there was that.
That's good.
Fragile, stupid umbrella that makes no sense.
It's a teleporting magic umbrella.
It really annoyed me because she flicked it after she got out of the cave, she flicked it up to be safe from the rain, and you're looking at it going, that's just a load of rectangles with no real coverage. What are you doing?
Do you know what annoyed me about that umbrella? You can use it as a fast travel.
Yeah.
But the way you use it as a fast travel is you enter Sam's safe room, you watch a cutscene of him going into the safe room, you then watch a cutscene of him waking up in the safe room, you then watch a cutscene of him choosing the umbrella and having Fragile come and use it with you, and then he teleports and the umbrella stays on the wall. If you have a teleporting umbrella and you are a porter,
you take it everywhere.
Take the bloody thing with you.
I remember before I got the fast travel ability, there was a point where I was playing this game, I was like, I need to think of a way to summarize this. And the best way I could think of prior to that moment was, what if fast travel was illegal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joey,
iconic moments for you?
I think Higgs, Troy Baker chewing the scene.
Oh, yeah. He was great.
Insane. But there is a point where I think it's the second time you meet Clifford and you are walking through this trench, and then him and 4 like BT ghostly soldiers come out of the tar, and that is just immense. Absolutely immense. I feel like this game can be described as this game can be probably summarized with the immense moments, because the big moments in Death Stranding are enormous.
I think there's lots of quiet moments to like really help punctuate the big moments.
Too many quiet moments.
Yeah. For me, and I don't know if this was like I'm going to put air quotes on this and say organic experience, because I have no idea if this is scripted or not. But to me, it felt random. I was handling a delivery to the windmill, is it, in the first area?
Mm-hmm.
And a part of that involves you going through a forest, and I was attacked by a large BT in there. But like, did you guys get the same attack?
That was 45 odd hours ago. I don't know.
I got attacked by BT. Well, I got stalked by BTs, but I don't remember a big one.
Oh, so this is a massive attack. It was it was the first time I'd ever encountered like the whale BT, and it was in the forest, and I had just like fallen down a cliff face and dropped all of my shit as well, and just the sense of panic that I had. It's been a long time since a game has made me panic like that.
The thing Tim loved most about this game was a heightened blood pressure.
Yeah. I was feeling a bit too lethargic before. Cool. Yeah. We mentioned soundtrack. We need to talk soundtrack. How many songs from this game have you now got on your Spotify playlist?
None.
No?
I haven't yet. No, I've not gone and listened to the full soundtrack because I only finished my playthrough about 4 hours ago.
But I feel like I don't know if they will go on my soundtrack because they are perfect songs for this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'd listen to them outside of this game.
I've saved the soundtrack to my Spotify, like, you know, as a dedicated playlist. Low Roar have gone on a couple of my I've gone on a couple of my playlists for Spotify because I really wish I heard these guys earlier. They are f***ing sick.
Tim, can you give me a Low Roar?
Roar. Yeah, like it's a Kojima soundtrack. Like if you've played the Metal Gear games, you kind of, I'm not going to say you're going to get into like the 70s alternative rock of Kojima's taste, but it's very intentional. It's very intentional. The soundtrack is probably the best way to describe it.
Tim, you said you'll play the rest of the game. Alex, will you play the rest of Death Stranding?
I don't know, because I think these big moments that you're talking about, they sound really good. I just don't know if I've got it in me to get to them.
Alex and I both played this on Steam Deck, by the way.
Yeah.
Steam corner. So I have an OLED Steam Deck, the more up-to-date model. It runs pretty much flawlessly. There was one point where I dropped down to about 18 frames per second, but there was a lot going on screen at that one time, so I'm willing to give that the benefit of the doubt. It was a very isolated incident, but other than that, flat 60 across the board. Did not need to change a thing. Alex, what about you?
Yeah, I've got the LCD one, and it ran really well. It did. It did make my fans scream at certain points, but other than that, it was fine.
They're behind you going, "Oh my god, it's Alex!"
Yeah, no, like there was no frame drops. I think I was playing it on medium or high graphics.
Nice. My computer, I easily ran this on highest graphic settings, and it had no problem at all with it. I think it's optimized to hell.
This is what I was going to say. It's not as this game is like a low poly adventure or whatever. This game is detailed, and that's probably a very good combination of like a good balance of models and optimization and textures and bump mapping and culling and rendering and what's the term called where like where like a model might be really far away, so it's got like a low res model of it. People will know what I mean.
Depth of field?
No, not depth of field.
Yeah, I know what you're on about. Level of detail, it's called.
Yeah, LOD model, thank you. Yeah, no, like this game is not a slouch when it comes to graphics. It looks really good. Like really good.
That was a big one. Someone agreed, yeah. No, it looks really good and it sounds really good, and I think it needed to, because if it didn't, it's a crap-sounding, crap-looking walking simulator.
It excels, I think.
It does, in that regard.
Yeah. But that's Death Stranding. We should probably go to scores and thoughts, eh?
What's the scores on the doors, Timmy Doors?
I'm going to start with you, Joey. Tell me your score.
Well, if you remember last mainline, we broke down our score into gameplay, story, and audio and visual.
Yes.
I remembered this. Thanks, Alex, for reminding me not during the recording. So, do you want to go around and do gameplay, then we do story, and then we do audio and visual, or do you want me to give all three, Tim?
Go for all three.
So just the opposite of what Alex said then.
Fine, we'll go around.
Gameplay. If we're not talking the big epic moments, I'm saying a 6.
Okay.
If we're saying big epic moments, I'm saying a 9.
Okay.
So I'm averaging that out, and we're going to go a 7.5.
Okay. Alex?
The gameplay, for me, it's a 4. Like,
okay.
I appreciate that they've tried to make walking interesting, and there are some good elements to it. The whole putting things down and other players can use it, and you can use other players' bridges and things like that is a cool aspect, but it doesn't make up for the rest of it.
Okay. So you're going for a 4.
Books. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I'm going to give the gameplay probably an 8. Yes, there is a lot of walking. However, to me, there's a lot of mechanics and systems that you need to balance, like your shoes durability, your meter, for example. You need to be mindful of what you're drinking. You need to not stress out the baby too much because it'll be loud and alert people and BTs. You need to be scanning your environment and collecting all sorts of recyclable materials. It's great. I loved it. Yes, there are some very quiet moments, but to me, that only helped accentuate the impact of the big moments. So for me, I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Cool. Next, art and the audio video.
Audio visual.
Joey.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely loved the audio and visual. It's Kojima. It's bonkers, but it's bonkers in a visually cohesive way. And just when you start the gameplay and you have that big open landscape and the music kicks in, I could play that over and over again. It was excellent.
It's good. Alex?
Yeah, 9 out of 10 as well. Like I said, I'm probably not going to go back and play it, but there's every chance that I will watch a playthrough of this because it looks and it sounds incredible. I would watch a movie made this way.
All right. I would probably also go a 9 out of 10. I loved the soundscape. The landscapes looked incredible. The character models were unreal on how well they were done. Particularly Mads Mikkelsen, I found. His model was particularly high fidelity, arguably more than Norman Reedus's. What else? The only gripe I had was the UI in some of the menus was sometimes a little shonky, shall we say.
It was a bit gacha.
Well, trying to navigate your map. So there's a big thing in the game where you can plot your route ahead of the route. So you can be like, I need to go this, and this. You can plan your own route, or you can follow another player's route, whatever you want to do. If you plot your own route, it is nigh on impossible to see on the map. It's easy to see in the overworld when you're actually navigating it, but if I'm, trying to clear out my location markers on the map and I can't see them, bit annoying. But other than that, I think that's a bit of a nitpick. It's like a 9 for me.
UI-wise, the thing that annoyed me the most was having to hold A in my controller to do everything, because the hold A felt, and I know it sounds like a really small nitpick, but it felt like it was 2 or 3 times longer than it should have been.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that you needed to do it drove me up the wall.
That prompt as well, where it's hold A to interact with the terminals or whatever, was inconsistent across the specific devices that you were using. So I played this on a PS4 controller hooked up to my Steam Deck. To access terminals, it was hold X. To access post boxes, it was hold square. To access watchtowers, it was hold triangle. There was one thing where it was hold start. And it's like, can we pick one, please? All right. Right, last but not least, story.
I don't know how to score this because I think it's a good story if you know what the flipping heck's going on.
Yeah.
I think it's a story-based game, and I think it's a good story. Am I marking this on the story itself or the way that it's told?
A dealer's choice. If you want to combine that score, you go for it.
I love the story. I think it's my kind of crazy, over the top, need to look into it and understand it more story. But it's told so strangely and so backwards that even in your summary of the story that you watched, I'm guessing today,
yeah,
it was convoluted and bizarre. And I imagine there'll be people watching this or listening to this, going, I'm still not quite sure what the story actually is on that game. So going straight down the 7 out of 10, which is a shame. I would love to give it another 9, but I think in the way that it's delivered, to me, it's not great.
Okay. Alex?
There's nothing wrong with a branching storyline and sort of this relates to this and that relates to that, but it needs to be told in a concise, sort of logical method. This game, the story felt very sort of like, oh, so this is the first point, but to understand the first point, you've got to understand this point from here about this thing. But to understand that, you've got to understand this thing and how this relates to that. And it's, and I get that it just seems to be Kojima's thing of just making convoluted batshit stories. And yes, he's very good at it, but Jesus Christ, it hurts my head trying to figure it out.
I agree with Alex. I think the hardest thing here is I struggle with games like this, and I'm going to harp back to it. I'm sorry, Josh and Dan. Mass Effect, when it's like, this thing I'm saying now relates to that conversation we had 7 hours ago. And I'm like, what conversation? When did we? Who are you? I'm lost. And this does that a lot. Remember when you looked in the mirror at the start of the game and you saw this? It's like,
no,
no,
I don't. But yeah, so for me, I am going to split it down the middle and call it a 5 because I can appreciate the story they're trying to tell, and part of the story is obviously the characters and the world, which I think are very cool concepts. I'd love the concept of the Timefall and the BTs. The bridge babies can, just go away. But yeah, so it's straight down the middle for me on a 5.
Cool. And for me, I love symbolism in things, and I love analogies and stuff because I like being able to put that together. I like being able to piece together what the creative minds behind a certain project or film or whatever were doing. What I love more than that is batshit crazy rabbit hole conspiracies. And this is that in droves. So for me, I am going to give the story a 9 out of 10. I bloody loved it. I loved not having a goddamn clue what was happening next. I loved trying to work out what the hell I'd just seen and then thinking back on it as I walk from city to city, being like, oh yeah, this probably means this. It was great. I was able to actually sit back and ponder things for a while. It was cool.
Nice.
It's a metaphor for your life.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, Joey, what's your final score?
That gives me a 7.8 out of 10.
A 7.8. Wowzers. Alex?
It gives me a 6 out of 10.
Wow. And for me, that gives me an 8.7 out of 10. That leaves us with a final score of 7.5.
I think that's fair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Good stuff. Right. I mean, that's going to be it for this episode of Death Stranding. What are we doing next time, gang? What's our next main line?
So the next main line is The next main line is going to be one of mine. Now, we like to play games that we like on this show. We like to pick stuff that we've always enjoyed, and so we've been playing quite a couple of heavy games recently with, Death Stranding and Silent Hill before that. So I thought, for Christmas, for Podmas, let's have a nice little break. Let's play SpongeBob SquarePants, the Patrick Star game.
On brand for
Because
Christmas.
Battle for Bikini Bottom was great.
Battle for Bikini Bottom is really good.
And I'm really hoping that the Patrick Star game is as good. So, yeah.
Those aren't fireworks you can hear on my microphone. That's my brain exploding.
Right. In the meantime, Joey, what have we got between now and then?
I don't know.
All right. Well, we have Genesis Noir, which is on our next Thanks, I Hate It. Thank you, Alex, for that. We have a BAP, and then we have our last cutscenes of the year, which is, for Joey,
a surprise.
Wow. It's already going to be announced because Mortal Kombat was out last week.
Yeah, but we haven't recorded it yet, so I'm not going to say it there either.
So it's a surprise.
Right, so it's a surprise for us, but we know what it is.
No, but for our audience, it's a surprise.
For the listeners.
I see.
We don't just do this for
All
us three in
of
this
them.
call right now. That'd be pointless.
Nah, it's good fun.
We do this for you listener.
Wow.
You three out there.
Right.
No, when I said you, I was going singular. You,
Yeah.
just
You, Josh.
Right,
Right,
Alex. Spikes the lens.
Sorry.
That's
Spike the lens.
Yeah, like barreling the
We're
lens.
doing it for you.
Yeah.
I wish you had video for this, because
That'd be great.
wow, I'm not
Got
going to
real
be able to
close.
calm myself down. I'm going to have to go and take a cold shower after that.
Right, and on that note, let's go away. Thanks, gang. We'll see you all next time on
Bye.
this. Bye.
Let's go away.